What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Bill's How To. Today I'm going to show you guys some tips, tricks and hacks that you can use on a regular tape measure that's going to make everyday life much easier. Let's get straight into it, guys. Let's do this. So the first one I'm going to show you guys is how to divide into multiple sections without using a calculator. Usually if you're pretty good with your math, you can measure up the width, which in this case here we've got 295 millimeters. Divide that by 2 if we needed only 2 sections. That would be 147.5. If it's by 3, I'll definitely be pulling out my calculator. So an easy way to get around this, if you take your tape measure, hold it nice and tight on one side, move it across on a bit of an angle until you've got a number that can be easily divided by 2 or by 3 or 4 or 5, depending on what it is that you want to divide it by. So in this case here, I've got it now positioned on the 400 mark. So what I can do at this point is take my pencil, mark it at the 200 because I know that's now half, move across once again, mark that one there at 200. And if we take a straight edge, we can mark this one here up. And now we've got that one there evenly cut into 2 or divided into 2 pieces. You can do the same thing if you wanted to measure it up by 3s. Once again, we can either move it down onto the 300 mark. So there we go, we've got a little bit of an angle there. Mark it at 100, mark it at 200. We'll do the same thing. Hold that one there on the 300 mark, makes it a bit easier. 100, 200. Take our straight edge, mark those ones there up. And now we've got that evenly spread, 1, 2, and 3 pieces. Nice and simple. It can be used on anything as long as you've got straight edges. Even if you wanted to take on board this whole section here, which we have got 600 in width. If we wanted to divide that by 3, 2, 4, now we've got 1, 2, and 3 sections. Nice and simple. That'll make everyday life much easier. So for the next one, if you don't have a pencil handy, you can actually use the hook here on the end of your tape measure as a scribe and mark the material. This one here is used a lot, especially when it doesn't have to be 100% exact. Mark it here at 200 or whatever measurement you need. Run your finger along the straight edge here and simply scribe it all the way down. Nice and easy. We've got a nice straight line here. If you did want to use the pencil and you don't want to go looking for your level, once again, mark it at 200. Hold your pencil up along the hook here and simply mark that one there all the way down as well. Nice straight line once again. Nice, simple, easy way to put a reference point without having to have your straight edge. You can also do the same thing using your knife. Once again, cutting the drywall, 200 mark, put it on the edge of our hook here, scribe that material all the way down, flip it over, pop, and then we can cut that backside. And if you have a look there, that is exactly 200 now. That pencil line is completely been cut, nice and simple. So the next one I'm going to show you guys is how to get an inside measurement. Inside measurement generally taken on inside of window sills, door jambs, inside cupboards. And if you run your tape all the way along, you can generally eyeball it along the corner here. But because the tape is curved up against that square edge, it's a little bit hard to get an exact measurement. We've got roughly 530 right there. So what I do instead is take a little piece of tape, put that there down where my measurement is going to be taken from. We can then run our tape all the way across. Remembering we come up to the corner here and it's a little bit hard to determine exactly what it is, but we can see there a nice even number of 500. Put a pencil mark right there. So this side here is 500. Then we can take our tape, measure up to that line, and it is exactly 35. So we've got 535 in total. Now, if you have a look at the base, or in my case, it's on the side here, right above my finger, you can see some numbers there which state 84 millimeters. Now, what that number represents is the overall length from edge to edge of this particular tape measure. What that's used for is something that not a lot of people know and not a lot of people actually use, even if they do know. It's designed for an inside measurement. So you run your tape all the way to one side, lock it in back against the other side, lock that tape measure there in place, and then we can take our measurement. So in this case here, we've got 400 and 51 millimeters up until the edge of our tape here. Remembering the length of our tape measure is 84 millimeters. Put them both together and we're left with 535 millimeters. So that's another accurate way of getting an inside measurement. Now, if you wanted to measure the circumference of a circular object, rather than getting your tape and trying to wrap that around, you can see there you won't get an accurate measurement whatsoever. It doesn't wrap around tight. What you can do instead is you can take any kind of string that you have laying around the house, wrap that around the object, hold that side there in place, wrap it around till you get to the overlapping area, mark it with your finger, then you can transfer those measurements over onto your tape measure. In this case here, we've got 590 millimeters. Now, another handy feature on our tape measure is this little slot right here at the front of our hook. What this little slot is designed for is whenever you're on a construction site or out on a job, you don't have a second set of hands. What you can do instead is drop a screw or a nail in, and now that tape measure will nicely lock into place right there on the edge of our hook. That's not going anywhere, nice and simple. So another awesome trick that you can do using your tape measure and a screw is you can draw nice consistent circles without the need of a compass. Now, you might be thinking, why would I need to draw nice consistent circles? You might not have your compass handy. You might need to drill out some pipe work, locations, or some toilet flanges or anything along the lines of that, and the base of the bucket simply might not cut it. So depending on the material that you're working on, sometimes you need to assist the back of the tape measure to make it work, but it's still an awesome little trick. Take our little measurement here. We're going to start off on 100, assist the back, and we're just going to rotate that all the way around. So nice consistent circle, easy way to get yourself out of trouble, and you can get that pretty precise. So we're now at 150 mil. Repeat the process. Nice and simple, guys, and it's surprisingly pretty fun to do. Once again, just another way that you can use your tape to get you out of trouble. And the last tip for this video, guys, is if you're trying to measure something and it's larger than the span of your arms, you want to have that bit of extra length in the tape, what you can do is just initially pull on it a little bit harder and then catch the tape. And what I mean by that is pretend like you're drawing a sword or you're starting a lawnmower, simply pull it out nice and hard and you can bite onto that with your other hand. Now we've got twice as much distance right there. We're sitting at about 3 meters, which is about 10 feet. Nice and simple. Now I've got a lot more distance that I can cover and I can measure that all on my own, nice and simple. For example, instead of trying to measure the size of the door and trying to lodge it in there and hold it onto the other side, what you can do instead is open it up, put it there, and you can maneuver it as wide or as narrow as you like, and you can read the measurements from there. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. You've learned something new. As always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching. Bill's out too.